Welcome back. This is a little bit of lateral area, surface area, and volume work. So we are talking about prisms, and I got a little handy dandy prism right here, and it happens to be a trapezoidal right prism, and all the prisms are right. Wrong. Right, and it's a trapezoidal prism because the bases, of which there are two, are both trapezoids, and they're isosceles trapezoids. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to think about the surface area, the lateral area, and the volume for this particular prism, this trapezoidal right prism. So one thing to remember is that the lateral area is just a bunch of rectangles, right? And if I were to draw them out, here is one such rectangle, right? The sides, the lateral faces, and that rectangle happens to be a 10 by 5. Right, so the area of this guy is 50. Right? Well, there are 3 other rectangular faces, and here's another one of them. Right, and that one happens to be 6 by 10. Right, that's the top one. And there's also another lateral rectangular face here. Right, and that one happens to be 10 by 5. And there's one more, because there are 4 sides in the trapezoid base. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there will be 4 lateral faces, all of which will be rectangles. And that last lateral face is going to be a 10 by 12. Okay? Now, if we add those up and multiply, another way of thinking about that is, if I pull out a common factor of 10, what we're left with is 5 plus 6 plus 5 plus 12, right? And those numbers are familiar, 5, 6, 5, 12, because those numbers add up to be the perimeter of the trapezoid base. 5, 6, 5, 12. Hey, that's the perimeter. Okay? And of course the 10 is the height, not the height of the base, but the height of the whole prism. Right? So that's where the perimeter times height comes into play for the lateral area, the area of the sides. Okay, either way, we get 50 plus 60 plus 50. Let's see, that's 160 plus another 120. So that should give us 280 square units. Okay, so that's the area of the 4 rectangular lateral faces. Okay, they're not all the same. 2 of them are the same, the left and the right. Okay, but they're not all the same because our trapezoid base has different length sides, 5, 6, 5, and 12. Okay, so there's our lateral area. Let's talk about surface area. What we don't include in the lateral area is the top and bottom. Okay, and recall that if it's a prism, and we are dealing with prisms, the surface area will be the lateral area, which we already found, the area of the sides, plus the bases, right? And in this case, our bases are both trapezoids. There's one of them, there's 2 of them. Okay, they both happen to be congruent, so I'm just going to find the area of one of them, double it, and that will give me the total surface area. So off to the side, I want to investigate what my base is. So here's my B work. Alright, so that's what my base looks like. It's 5 here, it's 5 here, it's 6 here, and 12 here. We got to find the area of that, right? It's a trapezoid, so we have to refer back to the area of the trapezoid. Got to drop that altitude, looking for the height. I need that for the whole area of the trapezoid base. So that's a 6, and remember the whole base was 12 on the bottom, so those have to be 3 and 3. Oops, so lo and behold, we get a little bit of a 4 for the height, which, oops, we already had that up there anyway. Okay, so let's pretend we didn't. So B, the area of the base, capital B, is half, by the trapezoid rule, the sum of parallel bases, right, half of 6 plus 12, times the height, and the height is 4. Right, so what we end up with is the average of 6 and 12, which is 9, wow, times 4, which is 36. Okay, so it's helpful to keep that out to the side. So the capital B, now that's the area of the base, right? Capital B is 36. And I'm just going to kind of move this out of the way here because it's getting a lot of weight. And that's the area of one of the trapezoid bases, right? So that area right there is 36. But you know what? There are 2 of them, they're both congruent, that would complete the surface area value. So the surface area, put that off to the side, is going to be our 280 lateral area plus 2 of these capital B's, 36s. All right, the top and the bottom both have area 36. So it's going to be 280 plus 72. And that gives us what? 352 square units. Okay, so what's different between the lateral area and the surface area? Well, it's the bases, the capital bases, right? Not the area of the bases. Okay, so note that the, for the LOG, here we go. Note that the lateral area just is the area of the 4 sides. 1, that's 10 by 5. 2, 10 by 6. 3, 5 by 10 again, and 4. That's 12 by 10. Okay, those 4 rectangular areas end up looking like the perimeter of the base, the trapezoid base. All right, this piece is the perimeter of the trapezoid base times the height. Okay, or you can just piece it together like I did. All right, to get to the surface area from the lateral area, we just take the lateral area value and add 2 of the bases to that. All right, so you have to think what the bases are and get the area for one of them and double it since they'll both be the same. That gives us our surface area. All right, volume is much easier now that we have the area of the base. Okay, so I'm going to try to squeeze this all in one window. Actually, that's not a very good idea. I'm going to try anyway. Okay, so here's our B, which we already found was 36. So remember, our volume is going to be the area of the base times the height. Capital B is the area of the base. Now, I already got area of the base. It's the area of this trapezoid, or the top trapezoid, which was 36. All right, here's that work right here, right? So I don't need to do that again, but what I do need is to multiply that by the height, right? It's the height of the prism, right? It's this guy, right, which is 10. So 36 times 10, of course, is 360, and that's cubic units because we're talking volume. All right, so that's a quick example of surface area, lateral area, and volume pertaining to in this case, trapezoidal right prism. Thanks for listening. Keep it real.